The thing that led me to this coaching world, it was an accident. I can say that. It was an accident. I was invited by my brother to take part of a webinar of coaching. And I was in pajamas, taking breakfast with my son. And he called me, aren't you going to attend? And since the first moment, I was captured by, by the way, the approach of getting to know yourself. And then he told me, okay, now there is a program. Do you want to take it? And it was the lockdown. We were in 2020. We were in lockdown. And I entered into the lockdown without any money. Any money. I didn't even know how to pay my telephone bill. And if I wouldn't have a telephone, I wouldn't have internet and I would be totally disconnected. So I got my first client there and he told me, okay, I pay you your telephone bill and you give me a session. And I'm an artist. I don't belong to this other environment of enterprises. But finally, I thought I am really fortunate. It's a privilege. I received this as a gift. So I said, I can't say no. So I got in, and the first moment, people told me at the end, I remember you when you came in because I was in this environment of enterprises and these other values. And I was like shy. I was not speaking. I was like this, really backstage. And more I got involved, and more I got in love. And I had a lot of anecdotes about, for example, the day we were working with the life purpose. And I said, no, how come? I've been asking myself what I am doing in this earth for all my life. And now in 20 minutes, I will know what is my purpose in my life. No, 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 that cannot be possible. And I did it, and it was wonderful. It was a really, 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 really nice experience. It is something really interesting for me because more and more I got involved. The moment I felt I got this transformation, it was like putting me in front of me really in a clear way what I've been working as an artist for 30 years. And as an artist, I work with questions, not with answers. I go to the stage. I am a performance artist. I go to the stage with questions, not with answers. So when I got this training in coaching, I got these principles I've been working with for years in front of me, really clear, like less is more, and the kind of questions that are really open. And I started to realize that I got a transformation in me and and with the people I work with my friends, my colleagues, my students, my clients. I started to have a very open view and not to give for granted anything, you know. I didn't give anything for granted. So I learned to ask before to think, give anything for granted. Just make a question and open your senses and listen to the other one. And I think that changed my relations also. So the impact I saw in my clients, I saw this impact or this transformation since I started to make my practices in the training program. I realized that people started to look for me and they were really happy to have the sessions. And more, I said, trust in the tool. Don't don't put yourself so much in. Just trust in the tool. So I rely on the tool of coaching tools, and like a little bit like to go do I don't do jump to the water. You say, but I did it. So I was really surprised by the answers of my clients, like that they made one client make a really difficult decision in his life. And I was so totally surprised. I was like, oh, what did I did? I was not supposed to make this. And but for him was okay. I mean, he was in the moment to have it to make a very difficult decision in his life. And when he did it, I was like, I didn't expect this. I was a little bit afraid of what did I do? What did I do? But I relied in the tool. So more and more I get more comfortable with the tools. And then I had a really difficult client, a young man. It was the lockdown, or it was during the lockdown, or a little bit after the lockdown, when young people were really in a hard situation, living in their homes with their parents and not having such a great relation with them. And it was really beautiful to work with them. And when you see people that they go out from the session the same way they got in, I thought I am making really this in bad way. I am not working well. But then they came back, and when I started to realize they transform themselves. And there was a teenager that at the end of the session, I asked him for my marketing to write down a feedback for me. And it was so beautiful what he told me. And I said, okay, it was a good job. He really find himself, and he really find tools to live. And he was again in the flow of life. And that was really beautiful. And the other young man that was also in a really difficult situation in his life, he also told me at the end, it was because of you. And I said, no, it is because of you. It is because of who you are. And it is so beautiful, to not to think about you, not to be so selfish. That is art for me also. I don't go to stage to people to see me and clap me. I'm just a mirror of public. And this is the same. I'm just a mirror. And that is my job. That is my work. I'm just a mirror. And with this tool, we're going to discover who you are, and what is your gift in life, and how can you connect with yourself with the resources you have. And we are human beings, and we need each other, and it's really beautiful to be together in this process and really collaborate and co-create together. I'm not doing this alone. We are doing this together. And this is really, really nice mission in life. And it gives me also the support I needed as an artist, because it's truth. When my parents told me, you're going to be, how do you say it in English? In Spanish, I will say it in Spanish just to know how to say it in English. Te vas a morir de hambre. You're going to be starved. You will be hungry because as an artist, you don't earn enough money to live. And I said, no, how come? But that's truth. So I found the support making this for people, and I found also economical support to live. The gift I received with coaching is that I feel I had the furniture of a home. It is like you have the chair, you have the dishes, you have everything, but you don't have a house. So the gift I also received in coaching is like, finally I got a home where to live, where to put my furniture, where to put my art, and my books, my knowledge, uh, my table. And it was really, oh, like breathing, like, oh, finally I got a home. Because I wanted to give I've been giving private sessions before, but I felt I needed a protocol, and I didn't have it. And I didn't find that protocol in the psychology um, in the field of psychology. I studied psychology, but I didn't find there what I was looking for. And I found this in coaching. And I also was really pleased that the people that created this were artists. So we had something in common. And for me, art is transformational. That is something that we need as human beings. And when I found out that coaching is about creating, is something that it is about creativity, and it's also about humbleness, and it's also about presence. That is something I've been working as a performing artist for years. So that is something that by my surprise was in touch from these two worlds. They were a lot of crossing roads. So that was a relief for me. And that was a really big gift for me to find out a home. My relationships with my family, with me, with my son. My son is 21 years old. At that time, when I was making the certification program, I think 2 years ago, he was 19 years ago, it was the pandemic. He didn't want to go to school. He said, no, mom, I'm not going to make online school. I want to go in presence. He was a little bit in a crisis, even when he's really calm. And I said, okay, I'm going to make coach with him. And he was a little bit reluctant, like, no. But I didn't tell him. I was, okay, I told him, I'm not going to coach you. Just sit down, let's sit down and speak. But of course, I had the coaching frame in me, and I started to ask him questions. And I really was making coaching with him. And it was really beautiful to find to know more about my son. Even when I was at that time, he was living with me, and we have a really nice relationship. But sometimes you don't know people. You think you know people that are by your side, but you really don't know them. So when you ask some questions, and they open their hearts and their minds, and they are fully present in front of you because they trust you, you start to receive gifts, and you start to receive, like, it was really beautiful to get in touch with my son in that way. I knew him in a more deep way, and in a layer I didn't know. And also with my friends, I had really close friends, especially women, but also in my love relationship. And it was really beautiful also. It has been a very beautiful journey to construct a love relation with these principles. It is really a lot of respect, and it is really a practice I realized I decided to do with my love relationships, especially with the man. I said, I'm going to apply this here. So I'm not going to speak. I won't say anything if it doesn't come from curiosity and creativity and love. I can realize now that it was really a challenge, because sometimes when your emotions are involved with other people, you need immediately answers. You want people to love you unconditionally. But now I understand that love is something you construct. And with these tools, with this view, I can, I could calm down, wait, as when I am with the client and there is silence in the room. And I always think this is a very great moment when people are in silence, when the relationship with your loved ones are in silence. When those relationships are in silence, something is happening inside, something is happening also to you, and something is happening also in the relation. So it's something about passions and trust. And trust. That is a word that I can say that has been present in this journey of coaching. Trust in the tool, trust in you, trust in the client, trust in the relationship, trust in life. it has been very challenging in my own relationships, but it has been really beautiful to change the texture of the relationships, the way we relate with each other. And it's more and more about love. And it's really about also not to do so much. That's really strange. But you don't have to fight, you know. I'm Mexican, so I have this warrior ancestral archetype of a warrior. And I'm a woman, I'm not a warrior, and I don't like that stereotype. That archetype is not me. So I'm getting older also, and I think a friend told me, why, how, what would happen if you stop fighting? And I said, what is she telling to me? And I said, ah, okay, let's stop fighting. And it's more to receive and give, but really to listen, because in the very subtle details, there is a transformation. Sometimes we want to look big transformations, but you have to respect also how is, for example, your client. Maybe your client is a very low energy, and you have to go there and you trust something is happening inside. And maybe he will never be jumping in the room because that is not him, but something is happening inside, and that's enough. When I think about my certification and my CPCC title, I feel really proud, and I feel the world opens to me. If I would describe coactive in one word, is co-creation. We co-create together, and I think that is really powerful.